Oklahoma's job picture is changing with the times. ONR's Jason Doyle reports technology is pushing change within the oil and gas industry as other parts of the economy evolve.
Finding a job in Oklahoma right now isn't too hard, but job seekers should be aware job growth is slowing.
We're doing okay. We're lagging the nation in terms of overall job growth this year, and we've actually now lagged for the past 6 years. Not by a tremendous amount, but it's been a pretty long period of lower than average growth.
One of those lagging, the largest industry in Oklahoma.
The biggest one lagging, maybe obviously, is oil and gas extraction. Has shed thousands of jobs the last few years, about a quarter of its overall employment. That started with the downturn in oil prices in 2014-15, and then just the historic efficiency and productivity gains.
Because of the gains in efficiency and productivity, oil and gas extraction companies don't need as many workers.
We've had a little bit of a slowdown in that particular sector and also in manufacturing. Over the last 12 months, oil and gas has declined about 300 jobs. It's a little bit more of a decline if you're just looking at the current calendar year, but last 12 months, 300 jobs, down 1,700 in all of manufacturing.
The industry learned to be more efficient at extracting oil and gas during the downturn. Petroleum Alliance of Oklahoma President Chad Warmington says becoming more efficient has helped stabilize the industry long term. It also helps keep the cost down for consumers.
And that's a double-edged sword for Oklahoma, right? So oil and natural gas prices are certainly cheaper. We have a supply of natural gas that we didn't know we would have 5 years ago. And certainly just 5 to 10 years ago, we were talking about peak oil. Now we've got plenty of both. Oklahoma and the United States in particular now is a world-leading producer and exporter.
But in the short term, the drop in production can be worrisome.
Problem is now we're down 80 rigs for the year. That's a huge drop. So you figure about 200 to 250 people working on each rig and probably a couple $100 million of investment. That's a lot of money that's not being spent in Oklahoma this year that was being spent last year. So we've gone from about 140 rigs to around 70 or so.
Other industries experiencing major change and slower job creation are newspapers, telemarketing, and car rental companies. Oklahoma is making significant gains in warehousing and distribution. Think Amazon and online shopping. Aerospace has remained solid, and increases in tribal employment inside and outside of the casinos have also boosted the state's economy. But it's the restaurant business that has really exploded.
We have had good growth in restaurant employment. It's up over 20,000 over the last decade, but over the last 12 months, it's starting to decline as well.
Business is solid for us, but Kathy and I have rearranged things because it's just a changing market.
Sean Cummings has been in the restaurant business for decades and in multiple cities. He's seen the changes within Oklahoma's restaurant job pool.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't have enough tattoos anymore to be an owner. I don't have cool enough hair, stuff like that. There's people to be found out there, but the question is, do you look like a cook or are you a cook?
Cummings says he doesn't mind training new people entering the restaurant business, but it all boils down to covering the basics.
I love to take new people on and see what they can do. But here's the thing, if you come in and you go, hey Sean, I can make this really good lavender creme brulee, I go, that's fine. Can you make a regular one first?
Replacing high-paying jobs is difficult even in a robust economy, but the wage gap is becoming more narrow.
I'd say we've come closer maybe than I thought we had when I began to look at this. So overall, the average pay of the industries declining the most is a little higher than the average pay of industries adding the most jobs, but that's driven primarily by oil and gas being the highest paying sector. So it would be difficult to make all of that up in a short period of time.
Oklahoma's unemployment rate is at 3.2% as of July. That's considered full employment. However, new numbers will be released next week, and they may well reveal that unemployment is rising.
Since then, we've seen some increases in unemployment insurance claims. Year over year, they're up about 16%, continuing claims are. And so we're getting to that level on those increases where it might start to impact the actual unemployment rate.
Lower oil and gas production and higher unemployment are likely to make for a more difficult budgeting process for the legislature. Jason Doyle, the Oklahoma News Report.